What's up, guys? My name's Jeremy. I help entrepreneurs start and grow businesses. Let's get into this. So today we're going to start off with sole proprietorship. So if some of you have been following along and watching some of these videos that I've been doing or shooting on starting a business and how we're going to, what the process is, and this is episode 3 on this process. If you haven't been watching and you're new, check out some of the past videos. I will put some links up in the top here. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button because it will keep you tied into the content that I am producing here along the way, and that way you guys can follow along, especially if you're new to business ownership. So today we're going to talk about sole proprietorship. What is this? I don't know if you guys have been watching like I said, my last video when we talked into creating an EIN number and the process in doing that. Well, in order to do that, you need to create what type of business structure you want. There's sole proprietorship, there's LLCs, there's S-corps, there's corporations, there's partnerships, limited liability partnerships, and so forth. So I am going to do a video for each one along the way here. This one is going to be focused solely on sole proprietorship, some of the pros and cons, and some of the reasons why maybe you want to do a sole proprietorship or some of the reasons why you do not want to. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of this video. It's going to help you get informed and why sole proprietorship may be good or bad for you as an individual. So let's jump into this. So sole proprietorship, what is this? This is the simplest and most common of a business entity. So what that means is it's not an incorporated business, and it is owned and run by one individual. That one individual is going to be you, right? So it's going to be one individual, not a partner, not a group of people. It's going to be tied to you as an individual until the death of you. Unless you close the business, obviously. But if you say you keep the business open for 30, 40 years, it's tied to you. Once something happens to you, then the business dissolves and is no longer a business. So just remember that it's tied to you as an individual and nobody else. It also means that you are solely in charge of the profits and the debts on the business. So yes, you might make a profit from the business, but also if there's debts that come into the business, you as an individual are responsible. No one else, not the business, not anyone else. If you have a couple employees or partners or anything, it is solely tied to you as an individual. So just remember that. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons, like I said, to sole proprietorship owning. So we'll go down through the list here of all the pros, and then we'll hit on most of the cons. So some of the pros, like list the most common. It's also the easiest and least expensive to form as far as cost, as far as so many other things that you need to take in place. It's one of the easiest and most cost effective to form. So also complete control. You as an individual have complete control. If you get into an incorporation or corporate or LLC or something like that, that you have partners, you're not the only one in control. So you're the only individual in control. It's easy for tax preparation, okay? You don't have to go into breaking down your cost as much. It's a lot easier. It's almost like doing taxes for yourself. You're going to be paying self-employment tax. So that is higher tax, but you're going to be paying self-employment tax. So it's easiest for tax preparation. It's easy also in record keeping. It's a matter of, okay, I spent this much, I brought this much money in. So keeping track of your receipts, obviously, keeping track of your gas, keeping track of all of those things, but also keeping track of income. So you're basically just doing a profit and loss sheet of money coming in, money going out. So it's very easy for record keeping or bookkeeping. So these are all, like I said, pros. Also, no corporate tax. Okay, let's dive into the cons now. So these are going to be some of the problems or some of the issues with having that sole proprietorship. Maybe some reasons why you don't want to go down the road of having a sole proprietorship, okay? Unlimited personal liability. And what do I mean by that? So unlimited personal liability, that means, oh shit, I'm responsible for everything. So if something happens, say you're working out of a small little shop and somebody falls outside your business, or somebody falls inside your business, maybe somebody falls wherever, you're liable even on an individual basis. And what do I mean by that is, okay, so say you have a house, say you have a car, say you have certain assets, you as an individual are liable for it. So remember that you're individually liable for these issues. So your assets can be taken from you, okay? So remember, that's not a good thing, that's a negative thing. This is why it's on the cons list. It's hard to raise money. If you get into a corporate scenario and it's something that you need to raise funds in order to grow the business, in order to have money to support the business, in order to continue for growth, you can go out and raise funds. You can have an outside investor. You can have stockholders. You can have people that invest into your company. But as an individual, as a sole proprietorship, you cannot have that. So you can't have anybody raise assets or funds for you to hold on to. So remember that. This is, like I said, it's going back into you as an individual sole proprietorship. So that's a con. It can be a heavy burden. With a bigger business and a corporation or an S Corp or an LLC or something like that, that you have other people to feed off of, that heavy burden's not always necessarily laid on to you as an individual, right? You have groups of people, other people that are helping out run this ship or this boat down the road. Whereas a sole proprietor, it all's on your plate. It falls all back on you. The shit got real and it's on you as an individual, okay? So ain't anybody else that's gonna be there. Maybe you'll have some employees to help you out, but everything falls back on you. So remember that. So self-employment tax. Self-employment tax is higher. So you're gonna be paying self-employment tax as well. So that's a negative thing because self-employment tax is higher than some of your corporate taxes. I shouldn't say corporate, but like an S Corp or some of those things. Also write-offs. There's certain things that you can write off as a LLC or some of your bigger corporate companies that you can't write off as a sole proprietor, okay? So remember these things. It goes back to a lot of tax issues and some of those. So as you can see, there's some pros and there's some cons to being a sole proprietor. Very easy to form. You know, so what I would look into, okay, maybe you have a window cleaning business or a small cleaning business and you want something that's not going to be a lot for you to overtake and stuff that is going to be a little bit easier for you to deal with. And a sole proprietorship may be good for you, but in the sense of say you're doing a massage business or a personal training business or some of those, you might want to look at some other options too. And the reason being is some people will jump into this sole proprietorship because it's the easiest to form, like I said. But also in personal training or a massage, yeah, you have probably some kind of limited liability insurance that you have on your individual license through like an ABMP or IEA or something like that you have an insurance broker that you are getting. But let's face it, God forbid, not that it happens very often, but God forbid you go ahead and get sued because something happened. Maybe somebody fell off your table. Maybe you hurt somebody in training aspect. Let me tell you that your insurance is going to cover certain things, but they can actually go against you as a civil suit as well, and you can be responsible for it. So think about that a little bit in the sense of maybe it would be a good option to have something that protects you and to have more of a corporate basis so that way your personal assets, your home, your car, things that you own and acquire, that you're not responsible or they can't come after you, okay? So just some food for thought. I'm going to continue on, like I said, with these videos. The next one we're going to go into is an LLC, then we're going to go into an S Corp. Some of those, this video itself was just on sole proprietorship. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you give us the thumbs up if you taking in some of this information and it was helpful for you. And also please subscribe because I'm going to continue to grow more and more on this business platform. And I really do think I can help you as an individual and as a business. So keep following along and we're going to continue to grow this business. So, like I said, this was going back to starting a business. All right. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your time, and I look forward to helping support you in the growth along the way. Thanks again.